Le'Veon wears his helmet like a crown. Calls his child Garrett, 'cause he likes the name. And he sends him to the finest bench in town. Le'Veon, Le'Veon likes his weed. Smokes a lot, they say. Spends his days stoking in a Camaro on the highway. He was drafted in the 8th round on Labor Day when other picks had gone away and Detling's won. So Detling has a son today, and he shall be Le'Veon, and he shall be a good man, and he shall be Le'Veon, in tradition with the Detling plan, and he shall be Le'Veon, and he shall be a good man, and he shall be Le'Veon. Le'Veon scores touchdowns in the Berg. His family business thrives. LeGarrette hands out Gatorade all day. Sits on the bench watching players play. And LeGarrette wants to go to New England, leaving Le'Veon far behind. Take a toke and go running. Well, Le'Veon's on the rise.
Detling! Get out of the shower, man!
What?
Get out of the shower, man! Stop singing on John! It's time for the show!
How much of that did you hear?
I heard enough to know you can't sing, but hey, that was beautiful. The lyrics were beautiful.
I appreciate it. Came up with this all myself. Totally original music.
I know, and you've probably been singing that since last Sunday.
I sure have. Been jumping up and down. All right, let me get me out of the shower. I'll put my pants on one leg at a time like everybody else.
But don't forget your underwear.
Well, I'm a free balling, and I love it.
Alright, I'll be downstairs. Let's get this show on the road. Welcome to the second round of Tonto's Demise playoffs. This is the semifinals. I'm Detonators. Tonto Bowl 6 champs still alive and doing fine with...
Da-da-da-da! Matt Detling, Tonto Bowl 1 and Tonto Bowl 3 champion.
And it sounds like you're got a little pep in your step. You know, you're feeling pretty good today, aren't you?
I feel great today. You know what? I know why?
Why?
I survived the Manning Express.
You did, and I could tell by the way you're singing in the shower.
I was unaware. I apologize for butchering the songs. You guys all think I butchered it, which I probably did.
Wasn't that bad?
I mean, yeah, for a guy, an untrained voice who can't say more than 10 words without coughing or losing his voice, it's pretty good.
10 years from now, you're going to be praising that recording. You're going to be like, man, I could sing back then. I could just sing. I could belt it out with the best of them.
Well, I figure, actually, I think like 100 years from now, people are going to buy my albums because somehow I feel like the apocalypse is going to come and our voices will remain on the cloud and people will know what music is. And they're going to find this out and they're going to think, oh my God, it's either going to destroy their ears or just be sweet music because, music constantly changes.
Yeah.
Like, stupid electronic dance music all of a sudden is popular and we don't have good music like the Mills Brothers anymore.
Right, so this is going to be more in like some really like concept-based jazz that nobody really gets except for the really cool kids because it's not going to be mainstream.
Oh, and I'm talking like this is like around the Mad Max era. Like this is all they got.
So they have to appreciate it.
They have. I mean, they're gonna be looking for oil and water, and this is all they got to listen to in their shitty cars. Did you see that? Did you see the preview for Mad Max?
I didn't.
Total shit show, man. I hate people. I hate when they remake movies.
All right, well, let's get back to the topic at hand.
What? You don't want to talk about Mad Max?
I don't. And I just want to bring up something. I'm feeling great too. I survived being.
Oh, yeah, I apologize. Ryan, you've got a pep in your step as well.
Thank you. It's not all about Detling. You're used to me not making playoffs, so finally you have to acknowledge me that I'm still alive. And I'm not 6 feet under. But before we go any further, I just want to point out last year you were feeling pretty depressed. And I don't know if you remember why or not, but during this week you were very, very down on your luck, if you will. Do you remember why?
I don't remember why. Why would I ever feel like I was down on my luck?
Well, you didn't even want to do the show. I just listened back to it because I was curious. And you were bounced from the playoffs, I believe by, was it Tree? I can't remember who bounced you out.
Was it Tree?
I think it was.
Was it Tree?
I think it was. And you wouldn't give them credit, whoever it was, because
Like usual.
like usual. But apparently, it was the Snow Bowl where you and Kabisic were both taken out.
That's right. I don't think it was Tree.
Who was it?
I think it was You My Puddin'.
Ah, you're right. It was. It was Michael Myers.
Yeah. So it was Michael Myers.
Yeah.
I probably
All
would have given.
coming back.
Yeah, I probably would have given credit to Tree, but since Michael Myers never really gets into playoffs, I didn't want to give him credit. So yeah, but go on with your story.
Anyways, in the segment, you went on a long walk, and then all you could do is curse the Redskins, which I thought was hilarious.
I remember that. 18 points. I lost by 18 points. It was a punt return, a kick return, and they scored. They were above 65 yards each one, so 6 points plus the bonus, 9, 18. That's why I lost, because the Redskins quit. They freaking quit. Robert Griffin is a son of a bitch.
For somebody who just couldn't recall it like 2 seconds ago, it's crazy you have that stored in your memory.
I snapped it. Listen, the stuff I got stored in my memory is just got these trigger switches. I'll probably be able to tell you the theory of relativity and everything else within a switch. You just need the right word.
Anyway, the good news is we don't have to relive that this week at least. We're both surviving. And I just want to start off by...
E equals MC squared.
Thank you for that. I
Got
think
it.
everybody knew that. I just wanted to congratulate Bean on a game well played. You just couldn't get past the injuries, you know? And if I were you, which I'm glad I'm not, no offense, I would feel good about that performance.
You mean from a fantasy perspective or a human perspective?
No, fantasy perspective.
No, the way you said it kind of sounded like a human perspective.
Purely fantasy.
Okay.
You know, you put up 185 points and your top 3 receivers are on the bench due to injury. That's not bad. You know, you gave me a little bit of a scare, but I had to score over 200 points to defeat you. So I know you called into the show, and I haven't listened to it yet, but we're going to play it back here a little bit later in the show.
I can only imagine it's going to be something like, well, my 3 players didn't start. I mean, that's why I lost. They would have scored the necessary 30-some points to win, and I still stand by my trade for Matt Schaub. At the time, he was ranked just right there at Peyton Manning. That's what I feel like it's going to be.
I can't wait. And I mean, I really enjoyed Bean calls from last year. So
I know, they have disappeared.
They have. So it took him getting bounced from the playoffs for him to call in. So I'm glad that, you know, your loss at least brought you back to life, you know, on the phone line. So any words to Tree Size on your end, or are you just going to take all the glory?
Where's the Tree Size? Man, bad break, buddy. I mean, it's almost like it almost hurts to win this.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, your team wasn't even a team.
No.
It was disgusting. I thought for sure, like when I got home, I was at work, and I was like, oh man, he's probably kicking my ass. Like Peyton Manning's going off. And then I was like, oh, it's only CJ. It was just like 21-0 or whatever it was. And I was like, I didn't know CJ Anderson scored him. I was just thinking to myself, Demaryius Thomas has got to be ripping up that secondary.
Yeah.
And here, let me check real quick here. Yeah, well, looking at Tree's team, I mean, I couldn't believe Chris Johnson. There's a no.
C. Johnson.
See, Cal Johnson. Calvin? No, it's not Calvin.
Doesn't matter.
Cliff.
I think it's Chris.
We're going to go with Cliff. Cliff Johnson. Got 20 points. I saw that on the TV, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. Who's this guy?
Yeah.
From Minnesota?
Yep.
And then I saw Benjamin had 2 for 24 and a touchdown in the first quarter, and I was like, oh, crap. This starts. That's the first thing I saw on the TV was him scoring a touchdown. I was like, no way. I'm done. But then everything else happened, and man, you're just, I mean.
Or didn't happen.
Or didn't happen. Like, Denard Robinson just went crappy. All the guys, all your scraps that you put together to make a team. I mean, I feel like you kind of had like a Honda going, but then took a bunch of parts from a Hyundai and put them on a Honda, and they were going for a while before the Honda recognized that, wow, these aren't Honda parts. And it just, your wheels fell off, man.
Yeah, and Peyton Manning said, what the hell am I driving here?
Yeah.
And he just like took the wheel, gave it a strong yank to the right, and just put it right into the ditch.
Pretty much. I mean, this is probably the worst. I mean, I could be pretty comfortable saying this is probably top 5 worst performances of Peyton Manning's career.
Yeah, you're probably right.
He only threw the ball like 21 times, but still, 14 completions for 173 yards and 2 picks.
Yeah.
No touchdowns with that offense. I mean,
His streak
wow.
ended, I think, right?
Yeah, his
touchdown
streak. It was like a 52-game
Yeah.
one. But to be fair, and you listen to this one, Justin, all his receivers, the three touchdowns that C.J. Anderson scored were all because of his receivers getting tackled in between the 5-yard line and the touchdown. So you have to hope for that to happen against San Diego. because I don't think he's going to be like that.
Yeah.
But that's in the matchups. We'll get to that later.
And, I'm sure Bean already pointed this out. If he didn't, I will. A couple of my touchdowns came because his players got tackled within the 5-yard line. Aaron Rodgers was trying to run one in. He got stuffed. Of course, Eddie Lacy picks up that
Boom,
scrap.
boom, Lacy.
Boom, boom, Lacy. Then, who was it?
Who was it?
Heron or whatever his name is.
Dan Heron?
Heron, yeah. He also took it right down. They're on like 4th and inches. I don't know if you saw any of this game. 4th and inches.
I
He
did
picked
see
it
that.
up, but he still fell short by like a half yard. At the very end of the game, they threw it to T.Y. Hilton, touchdown. And that had to, if Bean was watching that, had to hurt.
That's a tough break.
Yeah, it is, because like that should have been Heron's touchdown, especially the effort he put just to get the first down. He deserved it. But those little touchdowns go a long way in swinging a score. So could have gone either way, and I was on the right side of it. So feels good to get a win in the playoffs. It's been 6 long years, man.
Feels good to be one step closer to that championship game
Against you.
against. I'll talk about it in predictions.
Yeah, we'll get there. It would be interesting if we were playing head to head. There's so many interesting possibilities, and we'll get to that in matchups.
Yes.
Well, Delling, this is the first time we've clapped out anyone this year. I guess it's probably because it's the only people that have actually deserved to clap out.
I thought we clapped somebody else out.
I don't know if we did.
We'll have to check back on our.
We'll check back.
Yeah, but if we haven't, this is the first time we clap people out. But you guys deserve a clap out. You guys made the playoffs. 6 other people didn't make the playoffs, so we're proud of you.
Yeah, but we still have to bury you.
Still got to bury you. Hey, man, I'm going to give you a sterling silver shovel of dirt.
So yeah, today we are going to be burying Tree and Bean, and some will say it's a little too soon, namely them. Others will say it's right on time, us.
I see Bean with his one eye open, but I'm still going to throw the dirt on him.
But at least Bean will get to enjoy that Dolce Spud,
Oh, yes, he will.
and he'll still enjoy it. And
Should have went double or nothing with him. Who'd advance? He probably would have taken it.
yep. But let's get into the obituaries here. All right, here we go. First obituary in the paper today happens to be for Possum Magic, who it starts out by saying Possum Magic has lost his magic every time he's entered the playoffs. And that's actually a quote from Craig Kubisik's video recap. And he had the most up and down season that many have seen in a long time. And he started out 0-2, went on his 9-game run, and then he lost his final 2 games, and right into the playoffs he lost again. He was the cause of death here. It says Peyton Manning, which is kind of harsh. However, if you look back, Peyton Manning got him 31 points in the final game of the season, which bounced him from potentially holding on to that bye, and he only lost the first round by about 31 points, which Manning should have doubled what he scored, which was also 31 points. And then finally, Peyton Manning laid a colossal egg of 16 points in the playoffs. It wasn't completely his fault. However, the leader has to score at least 50 points to have any chance of going forward. He will most likely be survived by Kelvin Benjamin, and more than likely one of his many pickups this year. Trey Mason, Larry Donnell, Dernard, McKinnon, Hillman, Kenny Britt. Any one of those players he could potentially keep. That will also be what he'll be remembered for most this year. He was the vulture off of the waiver wire, and he made the most out of every transaction. He took that clunker and he made it run. He made it run all the way into the playoffs. Almost got that bye. Unfortunately, crapped out on him a little bit too soon. Rest in peace, Possum Magic. Hopefully next year you draft a little bit better and you don't have to rely upon the waiver wire as much. And the last note it says here that everyone is wondering whether or not Alicia will draft Peyton Manning for the third year in a row next year, or if this little rendezvous is over, because clearly he can't take him through the playoffs. He can only get him there.
And in other news in the obituary section, we have one Kevin Bean, a.k.a. the Dove Sea Hooligans, passed away last week due to severe injuries that he could not overcome. He's best known for many things. This year, the dancing with the Cleveland pin at a public restroom very well, and not having any shame. Also, he became the Big Bang Theory of algorithms with his draft strategy, and it did take him very far. But the mathematics of it all did not, I would say, figured out for who do you have again as your quarterback? Drew Brees. In the fourth quarter, coming up with that shit show and making something of it. And Eddie Lacy, he didn't figure out that Eddie Lacy would be traded for crap. But also, Bean has he swore by the Houston defense and nothing else, and we laughed at him. But pretty good, did pretty well. Now, if I was to put like a time capsule of Bean's life in this year, would be his wife having the biggest eyes I've ever seen. Bean looking like a middle-aged lesbian. His play being shopped around, I don't know, 230 countries, whatever. He'll tell you how much. Well, if he could speak from the grave, he would tell you how many countries it's been played in. His 3 kids. I believe he has 3 kids. I don't really count these days. He is most definitely survived by Brandon Cooks and DeMarco Murray. And you had a good run, kid. You got that Dulce Spud, and I'm pretty sure that's what you wanted all along. The fat boy in you is happy. The fantasy football coach in you is sad. See you up in heaven.
Unfinished business. As usual, I have some unfinished business with the Isotopes. And first off, he's looking pretty good, looking pretty sharp after, I think, 17 days without sleep. Still looking for that trophy. Keep looking, buddy. And normally I have some beef to like really settle with him, but this week it's all compliments. It's all praise. First off, I have to say that I loved the introduction of his podcast, of his video recap, and how he did the Peyton Manning broke your heart. I could tell that he's a little delirious, and he was probably like seeing double and all that. But
Probably not Peyton was sitting there with him.
yeah, but it was beautiful. It was very, very fitting, and I'm sure you captured Tresice's emotions to a T. And I also loved the ending when you again took a little cheap shot at me and Denling for a little sign off, and when you did the chicken parm, you taste so good. That was brilliant.
Loved it.
Brilliant. So more of that next year, and we'd also I'd like to see some more memes like you did. Maybe throw one together for the end of the season.
Love the memes.
Love the memes. And the only small bit of criticism I have is that you've taken me against Jimmy to win this thing, and I feel like it's the kiss of
Bad
death.
luck.
It's the kiss of death.
Fredo.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God, I didn't even think about that.
I know, and I'm just here to officially state that we don't accept your endorsement. We don't accept your pick.
We?
No, me and my team.
Oh.
The Detonators. The Detonators.
Don't put words in my mouth.
The Detonators refuse your choice. Last week, we were looking for it. Nowhere to be found. I looked up and down the trash talk. I didn't see you put anything in there about changing your pick. And, we don't want it. We want you to go against us. So we just don't acknowledge it. So therefore, we have a better chance of winning this week. So that's all I got to say about that. Dowling, you got any unfinished business this week?
Yeah, a little bit with Craig. Craig, you piss me off sometimes. This one's not really, but I got to call you out. You took Justin. You don't want me to win. I get it. You don't want me to be a 3-time champion. You want to have that table all to yourself. And you want Justin to get his first championship because you're the kitchen of love. And when the Righteous Brothers plays, you can celebrate his championship with a big butt squeeze. And I don't know what else you guys do. But I hope you're wrong, buddy. I hope I hope I see you at that table. And I hope I get to tell you you aren't the only person who knows shit around here, buddy. So keep making your picks. Keep picking against me. See what happens.
Actually, it's probably going to help you this week.
I hope so. I hope to God it does.
Maybe that means Julio won't play.
Oh, I hope he doesn't play.
Hello, we're not at the house. Please leave a message. Hey, just put that down there. Hello? Hey, will someone pick up the phone? Hey, I'm on my way home from work. I was going to stop and get dinner. You just can have McDonald's, Wendy's, or Arby's. No, I ain't getting KFC. They don't got a drive-thru there.
Hello, gentlemen. This is your overly tired commish. I'm working so much, I actually forgot it was Thursday, and I thought it was last week. So, yeah, this did not start out so great. Here we are. I would like to congratulate our two winners from last week, and here we are to the Final Four, which is more than exciting. I am a little bit afraid of my matchup this week. With Torrey Smith out of the lineup, I had to put in Marquez Colston, which is a little bit scary, and I'm really putting it down on the Eagles D this week, which is again going to be a little tough for me. But yeah, guys, I'm excited. I'm like I said before, I'm overly tired, so I'm going to keep this short because I'm just rambling. But I'm sorry, guys. I'll be better for next week. Hopefully, I'll be in the championship next week. But at this point, I'm not going to hold my breath. I've let the fantasy gods down way too much this week. Like I said, I didn't even know an entire week has gone by. So, Peanut, good luck. Only enough to lose to me by 0.1 points, like I lost last year. And yeah, I guess that's it. Guys, again, this year has been awesome so far. We're almost to the end, and I know you're all excited to find out who the champion will be. Hopefully it's an East Coaster. And I guess we'll see. So, guys, again, great job. And I guess we'll see who wins on Monday night. Thanks, guys. Bye.
I don't know about you, Delling, but that sounds like one extremely tired commish.
Sure does. I mean, either he's tired or he's just really worried.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I mean, I know he's been working pretty tough, long days with UPS, and you gotta make the money. You know, buy some Christmas presents. Got to buy your woman something nice, and I'm sure she seems like a great girl, so you gotta get her something really nice. But I have to say, he is so far away from fantasy nirvana. It's laughable. Like, he has no clue what's going on. He has no idea what day it is, let alone when the matchups are. So I feel pretty good about it. I don't want him to lose. I do, but got a lot of respect for the guy. But when you're going up against him, you want him to be sleep deprived. It sounds like he's been going through a lot of torture.
Well, Brian, this takes you back to a time when I wasn't commissioner. I don't know what year it was. I think it was I lived in Las Vegas. I was working a job, Jimmy, 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., and I went out clubbing, hitting on girls, smoking a little weed, and I came back, and I still made it in time for the draft, and I still made it in time to call on, I think it might have been Brian's phone, and put on a speakerphone when Kevin Bean was there and tell him to F you.
That was great.
And
Classic.
yeah, it was a classic move, and you know what? I had my priorities. I didn't let anything get me down. Once that draft was over, I crashed, but I still made it. So don't blame work if you lose this week. I understand you gotta get the girl something nice. You gotta pay for that large amount of money for living in New Jersey. But you're getting a big break on taxes and or not taxes on gas, and you're close to New York City. So I don't feel bad for you, buddy.
No.
You're UPS. I was a delivery driver too,
Yeah.
one year, and I know how it goes. But this is fantasy football, man. This is what it's all about.
He knows that too, and I think what I'm afraid of is he's going to wake up on Saturday, Sunday, and he's just going to have a cup of coffee. Everything's going to come back into focus, and I just hope it's going to be a little bit too late. That's my only hope, is it's too late to figure out what to do.
Well, I mean, his avatar is Thanos and Darkseid, and I don't ever think they've ever been foggy. I
Yeah.
mean, when the Avengers were attacking Thanos, no, I don't think so. I think he was like, it's time to kick ass and take names. So, Jimmy, if you want those infinity gems of the fantasy football world, you got to be willing to take that extra step, man.
That was a great call. Let's see if we have anything else here. Oh my goodness, we have 2 messages this week. This is the first time this year. I have no idea who it is. Let's see who called.
This is Kevin Bean, owner-manager of the Dub C Hooligans. And I want to call in because I've got some unfinished business. First off, let me offer a heartfelt congratulations to my last week opponent. B, the team played their best week of the entire season to beat me. And that's even with Drew Brees going into the fourth quarter with 11 points, and the man dropped 30-something points in the fourth quarter. And I can't even make any excuses because even if my team were fully healthy, I don't know that I would have been able to top 217. So, well done, and I give it to you. You beat me straight out, and good for you. My unfinished business is with myself because I feel like I made a boneheaded move after wearing the Cleveland Browns pin, concentrating on being a better manager. And that move was the week that the Houston defense was out. I had the second place waiver wire, and I meant to grab a defense after waivers had gone through, so that didn't affect my waiver position. I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing, and I threw one in, and I lost that waiver priority, and the very next week came up, and who should be out there but C.J. Anderson. And I wanted to try to grab him, but I couldn't because I was dead last on waiver priority, and I feel like my season could have taken a turn in a different way, maybe grab me just one more win, got me that bye, but I would not have run into the buzzsaw that was B's team. So, again, congratulations. Possum, you got to face me this week. It's not going to be easy for you. I'm still gunning for third place, but good luck on the rest of the season. For everybody else who's still gunning for the playoffs, West Coast, bring one home for us. Detling, I don't want it to be you, because if I can't be up there with Craig, sitting on Mount Olympus as a 3-time champion, I don't want to see you up there either. All right, good luck, gentlemen. Merry Christmas.
Wow, that was actually a pretty good message
Great
from Bean.
call. Great
Yeah,
call.
as opposed to the last one. First of all, thank you for calling in, Bean. Really appreciate it. Not many people did this year, and it's always nice to have a fresh voice on the show. And just
Nothing
talking
against Jimmy.
No, nothing against Jimmy at all. He's the commish, but he's tired.
Yeah.
So
he's
I
very
mean,
tired.
well, and Kevin sounds like his was a little more rehearsed. And he taught. First of all, I thought it was very noble of him to congratulate you and
Yes.
say you beat me straight up.
Thank you, sir.
Did not make any excuses. He said that about you not possibly not beating you with his good healthy team at 217.
Yeah.
He scored.
Yeah.
As for, I did like how he said about the waiver wire thing. That is true about C.J. Anderson. I mean, I regretted it too. When he was there, I was like, oh my God. I was like, and I would literally said to him, damn it, Chet. I knew that was a good pickup. And at first I couldn't even remember. I was like, how was he even on the waiver wire? I can't remember who dropped him. I didn't go back and look at it because I remember when I went and got, I believe when I got Juwan Thompson, he was already gone. I couldn't get C.J. Anderson. And, but yeah, I totally agree with you, Bean. I would love to have C.J. Anderson on my team right now. It would, it would definitely make it easier for me. But no, I don't have him. And as for Mount Olympus, I totally don't want you to ever be on Mount Olympus if I can't be on it either. I would love to be up there with Craig, two of the founding fathers of the league, two of the people that have argued the most, two of the people that despise each other in fantasy football, and also just right down to it. I mean, it's just hard to get up to that. It's climbing that mountain's tough, man.
It is.
But yeah, I don't want to say too much more. I want to let you have something to say. Also, Merry Christmas to you as well, Kevin. And I believe that's it because I don't want to say anything that can be misconstrued from a religious point of view.
Wow. Showing some restraint. Showing a little self-control. I don't know this side of Delling.
I'm getting better. I have a jar it's like a douchebag jar. So when I do something, I throw $1 in. So it's gonna add up. I'll donate it to something myself. But I mean, still, it's a big purchase.
I want to say great year. You had a lot of nice moves. The C.J. Anderson thing could have helped you. Might have got you the bye. Could have actually beat me this week with all the touchdowns that he had. But hey, I want to say you put together a great team. You're clearly going to lose that Browns pin, probably to Gags. Feel like we have to get one mention of Gags in every podcast.
That is true.
Gigs.
Gigs.
But the other thing is that I'm not trying to knock you, but I want you to beat Tree just for a little bit of pride. Unfortunately, the best you can do is 5th since there's still 4 teams remaining. But having said that, I think, it's pretty, not a safe bet, but we've got the odds that we're going to have the draft in Western PA next year. It's either going to be in Kitchen of Love or in Pittsburgh. We got 3 out of 4 chances. So I'll take those odds. But yeah, it's a tough climb. So you had a good season. You made playoffs and got some good keepers for next year. So keep your head up. Have a good Christmas.
I'm actually pretty sure that Bean does not want to have you win either because
Of course not.
then you would be at the table of a much smaller mountain, maybe like Mount Airy,
Yeah.
with us. And me and Bean have been having a pretty good time at this table. I mean, we redo plays, we sing music together, we play some video games, talk about women, life.
Paint each other's toenails.
Well, whatever happens, I talk about his hair. He talks about my gorgeous smile, and yeah, we have a good time. We're not ready for anybody to join us.
However, if I do go on to win the championship, he could just hang his hat on that and be like, hey, at least I got beat by the best. Kind of like Game 7 when Madison Bumgarner won the World Series for the Giants. Guy's a beast. And the fact that the Pirates lost to him, it makes me feel a little bit better,
Wow, I can't believe we're up baseball into this.
I know. I'm not saying that I'm not the Madison Bumgarner of this league, but
Wow.
it would be, unless you're saying that.
I am not saying that you're the Madison Bumgarner of this league. Half these people don't even know what baseball is. But that is a good analogy. Although it still would be tough to say that you got beat by the champion. I don't know. Is that something when you think the Steelers are like, well, at least you got beat by the Patriots when they won the thing is the Rams? I don't
Right,
think
that's not a pill that's easy to swallow.
No, I don't.
You don't get beat by anybody.
I don't get beat by anybody.
But especially Michael Myers.
You're gonna say Michael's mom. I don't want to get beat by Michael's mom.
No, Michael Myers rises.
Michael Myers. Part of me thinks he's still hiding behind a telephone pole, ready to stab me in the back.
Anyways, Kevin, thanks for calling in. Try to do it more often next year or next week if you feel like it.
Listen, please send us some recipes. This week's matchups. All right. In this matchup, we've got New Gods, Mad Titans versus the Detonators. Starting at quarterback for New Gods, Mad Titans. Andrew, it's all skill, not luck. At wide receiver, Demarius, nicknamed Aquarius, Thomas. Muhammad, down on his knees praying for a win, Sanu. And I believe brand new in the wide receiver slot, Marcus. I ain't a star, but I'm reliable, Colston. And my favorite ice cream is Cold Stone. And a running back. Fresh starter for Hugh Jackson. Jeremy. Blowing people over, running downhill. And next, Giovanni. I ain't scrawny. Bernard. And for tight end, I be catching balls, Mika Rivera. And at the flex position, none other than the Bear. Matthew, I be catching balls, Forte. And in the kicking slot, Justin, don't call it a tuck rule, Tucker. And in the defense, Philadelphia, E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
And before I introduce the detonators, I've got a few words for you boys. A few words to inspire you like I did last week. But the first thing I need you to do is look around. Take a look around this locker room. Is there something missing? Of course there is. And his name is Stedman Bailey. And you know where he is? He's out on the waiver wire where he belongs. The only guy that couldn't muster a touchdown, he doesn't deserve to call himself a detonator. You know who you want to look to? You want to look to your left at a man named T.Y. Give me the ball, Hilton. I will take this team, I will put it on my shoulders, and I will win this thing. And that's why I'm giving him the game ball from last week. You want the game ball this week? You gotta top that performance. Next, I need you to take a look straight up. Look at the rafters. Whose names do you see? What jerseys do you see? That's right, you see Rivers, and you see Jacobs. Whose jersey's going up next? Is it gonna be you? Is it gonna be you, Breeze? I don't know. After a performance like last week, you better be happy you're on this team. You barely made it to this week. If they didn't start Manziel this week, you might have found yourself on the bench over Hoyer. You remember that when you step on the field this week. Who's it going to be this week? Is it going to be Lacey? You better suit up. I don't care about your hips. You get in the game and you win it. I think it might be the Black Unicorn. He's ready to play. And boys, we're going up against the Titan. We're going up against the Goliath. Yeah, we're David, but we can collectively take this mammoth of a team down. And like I said, unless you want to be out there in no man's land, hanging out with Stedman Bailey at the bar, selling car insurance, selling used cars, then you just go ahead and you lay an egg just like he did. But I don't think you will. That's all the introduction my team needs. And Eric Decker, we're looking at you, man. You earned your spot. You're our WR3. Percy Harvin's out. I need at least 2 touchdowns out of you, buddy. Crow, bring it home. We got this, boys. We're going to the finals. We're going to the championships. We're going to take down these New Gods Mad Titans. Detonators, mount up. We are ready to detonate it. Detonate. Boom. Boom. Boom, Lacey.
Oh man, Brian, that was, well, I heard you through the locker room. That was a very inspiring speech you did for your team.
Thank you. You want me to write one for your team?
No way, I don't want you touching anything on my team. It's all me. I want the glory. RB the GOAT. Looking over these matchups here, man, this is a tough one. New Guys Mad Titans, first place, 11-2. Strong showing all year. I mean, he's got the number 1 quarterback, arguably the number 1 running back,
Yep.
arguably the number 1 wide receiver.
Yep.
I think he's arguably the number 1 defense. I mean, I don't know how you don't blink in front of that. And you've got Drew Brees for Chicago. You better pray there's not a winner freeze.
I'm worried.
Mike Evans versus Carolina is pretty good. T.Y. Hill versus Houston. Eric Decker for the love of Pete. Terrible. Isaiah Crowell versus Cincinnati. Terrible run defense. My boy Bell showed you that last week.
Yep.
And then your boy Bell versus Minnesota. Black Unicorn, man. I love that guy.
Showed up.
Yeah, he did. And Boom Boom Lacey, that's your big question mark right there.
Yeah, I'm worried.
If the if the hips don't lie. We got in Carolina D versus Tampa Bay. It's pretty good. Now I look over in Jimmy's. Ooh, he's got some problems, man. Had to put Colston in. Sanu versus Cleveland. Although they might get a lot of looks with AJ Green being hounded. Hill. I just don't understand the two running back system for the same team. I mean, like me would have been playing like Bell and Blunt if I would have had him.
Yep.
And Rivera's, he's a scrapper. It's all about Forte, man, versus Orleans. I think he's gonna get a ton of catches. A lot of dump offs. And Philadelphia versus Dallas in Philly could be crazy. Could be Romo's
Sunday
worst
night.
nightmare. But it's all about Luck versus Houston, buddy. Terrible secondary. God, this is a tough pick. I'm gonna go with you. If Eddie Lacy plays.
Okay, fair enough.
If Eddie Lacy plays, I pick you. If he does not play, I pick Jimmy. And I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
But two great quarterbacks, one great wide receiver versus, I would say, one elite receiver versus two very good receivers.
Yeah, fair.
I'd say your running backs are better than his. I guess I would just because of Giovanni Bernard. You clearly have the tight end beat. I mean, kickers are just. I mean, you flip a coin.
Yep.
And your defense is. I mean, at this time right now, woo, man, this is a good matchup. I wish I could watch this whole thing. Yeah, I'm going to go with you.
All right. Well, thank you. But I've been thinking about this matchup for a couple days. I've had the luxury of working kind of a day job. I know Jimmy's probably been thinking about it while he's on the truck, but it's kind of tough. He's working those 12-hour days. But like you said, he's got the biggest guns in the league. He's got some of the 4 Titans.
Are we
He's
talking
got-
about his muscles?
Well, the muscles being Andrew Luck.
Oh, okay. Well, because if it's physically, I would beg to differ. I believe Gags would have something to say about that. Because seeing Gags at the last draft, I mean, I feel like he bulked up.
That was so random.
I do. I think he lost some weight and he bulked up. So I'm going to say Gags has the biggest guns in the league.
All right. Thanks for interjecting that.
Physically.
Okay, fantasy guns. Andrew Luck, Demaryius Thomas, Matt Forte, and Philadelphia D. They are like the top dogs in each of their categories. However, I do feel as though my team is a little more balanced than Jimmy's, at least at this point in the season. If you would have said that in the beginning or middle of the year, no, he still had me then. But it kind of fizzled out for him a little bit with Hill and Bernard not doing a whole lot. Obviously, Colson's been a bust this year. He's coming on a little bit lately. But overall, he's got the big guns. He could go off huge. Like, he has so much potential to go off. Those 4 players, those positions, could easily get him close to 200. And that's what's scary.
That is scary.
And I've got to kind of nickel and dime it and hope that maybe somebody like T.Y. Hilton or Eddie Lacy, if he plays, goes off. So I'm going to put a lot of stock in Drew Brees this week. He's going to have to carry us a little bit more than last week. I'm nervous. I think I could pull it out, and I'm hoping that Eddie Lacy plays because that's going to be tough to fill because I'm going to have to put in probably a receiver or I'm going to have to put in Shane Vereen, which I don't feel good about. So, Jimmy, good luck. May the best team win. And like last week, I hope we both put up some big numbers, If I put up 190, 200 points and I lose to you like I did the last time, I'll be able to sleep at night. But if I put up a performance like Tree did last week, not so much. So, good luck to you, Jimmy, and may the best team win. And now, for the matchup of the week, the other semifinal matchup. The winner goes to the championship. The loser battles for third. We have the Huber Squasher going up against FC Bohoric. FC Bohoric. So excited to make it back to the playoffs. I think it's his second time in the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. We're not sure. Anyway, he's happy to come off the bye to take on Huber Squasher, and he's led by Matty Ice Ryan. his receivers, starting with Jordy, I wear Cordy's, Nelson. And next, we've got none other than Julio Jones, who's hoping to suit up this week. And in his other receiver slot, we've got Sammy Whammy, thank you. Sammy Whammy Bammy, thank you, Mammy. Watkins. And coming in at beast mode as always, we've got Marshawn Lynch. And fresh off of Detling's roster, found a happier home, greener pastures, is Alfredo Morris. And starting in the tight end position, we have Dwayne Allen. And in the flex, we have CJ. Everybody wants him on their roster. Henderson. And kicking is Adam Automatic Vinatieri. And the defense, Tampa Bay Buccos, Bucks, Buccaneers. And that is FC Bohoric.
And now, for the Huber Squashers, starting at quarterback, Ben, somebody give me a Whopper, Roethlisberger. Calvin, yeah, I'd be tall. I'd be catching balls. Megatron Johnson. Josh, I'd be straight talking Jeff Tucker. Gordon. And at the other wide receiver slot, Brandon, don't give up on me, LaFell. And in the running back slot, Ryan Iron Clavicle Matthews. And in the other running back slot, none other than Superman himself, Le'Veon Bell. And a tight end, starting for Washington and the Huber Squashers, Jordan. I love Colt McCoy. I hate Robert Griffin. Reed. And of course in the flex position, Randall the Cobbler Cobb. And in kicker, Sean. Wait, you mean I'll be kicking in a dome? I'm going to make everything swish 'em. And in defense, Cleveland. You ain't got nothing on me, Cincinnati. The mistake by the river. Defense, Cleveland Browns.
All right, Deadling. Looking up and down these lineups, it's going to be a really, really tight matchup. I mean, right now, Justin's projected to win by 2, 3. And I think that says it all. Both of you guys have monster lineups. I really think that you both deserve to be here in the in the semifinal matchup. I can't wait to watch a Steelers game. But so much is riding on that game for both of you. You know, both of you got your big quarterbacks. He's hoping to have Julio for that connection. You're hoping for Bell with your connection, because that is the Big Ben Le'Veon Bell connection. I mean, they put up more receiving yards than most receivers anymore. So there's so much riding on that game. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I really wish you could get Bell in there. I know you do too. But I still think that your receivers are strong enough to kind of carry that flex position. And, Cobb he has a chance for a return at any point. So I know you're banking on that and potentially some rushes. Looking at Justin's side, gotta love Jordy Nelson for another big week. Julio, if he can suit up and play healthy, he's going to put up at least 20. Sammy, they're going to be throwing. Green Bay's, obviously, they're usually a good defense, but Atlanta put up a lot on them last week, so that's got to worry you a little bit. Lynch versus San Francisco, it's probably going to do some decent damage. Morris, not sure against the Giants. I know you said whenever your boy Colt McCoy's in there, he doesn't do as much, so I'm sure you're banking on that. Dwayne Allen, not a whole lot going on right now. C.J. Anderson, I think, is going to have a down week. I mean, I think it's going to be more of a throwing game. Peyton Manning's got to get back on track, get into Orange Julius and Demaryius Thomas, unfortunately for me. So I don't think he's going to have a huge game. But Vinatieri will get you some points. Tampa Bay will too. On your side, you definitely got the advantage of receiver with Gordon, Johnson, and Cobb. I like those better than his. And your wild card is Bell. I mean, that guy is unbelievable. He's doing historic things. I've heard that this is like he's only one of like 3 players in recent history, fantasy history, to put up over 100 points in 3 weeks for standard scoring. So he's doing historic things, and if it continues, it could help you ride a little bit further. So I guess I'm going to do something similar to what you did, and I kind of feel that right now I feel as though I'm going to give it to you. However, if Julio Jones is healthy and he's going against our weak secondary, he might have enough to actually take it down. However, if I had to pick one team, I'm going to go with you. I know that Craig is going with Jut and Jut's going with Jut, but I think you've got a powerhouse and you've got too many explosive things that could happen. So, yeah, I'm picking you. Go ahead.
Holy moly, I really appreciate that endorsement, Brian. The whole healthiness is the big questions for my team, your team, everybody's team these days. Everybody's fighting through injuries. Looking through these lineups, it's going to be an extremely tough game. Hats off to Justin. I'm proud of you for getting this far, buddy. You made it in that second place, 10-3. You got a great team, man. You got Jordy Nelson, that guy, best at catching the off-shoulder pass. Julio Jones, last week I literally was watching both of them just go crazy. And I was just like thinking to myself, thank God I'm not playing Justin this week. I just could not believe how well Julio Jones was catching everything. And I was kind of happy that he hurt his hip. I'm not going to lie. You gotta win games any way you can. It's all about the injuries. I don't even know if Ryan Matthews is going to play right now. I had Kerwin Williams, and I had to struggle with playing him against St. Louis. I didn't think about it. I got Roethlisberger versus Matt Ryan. Hoping it's a huge matchup. And I'm pretty much all about the Steelers. You got Roethlisberger, Bell, and Swisham. I'm hoping for like 50 points.
Yeah.
Literally, 50 real points.
And so are they.
Yeah, so are they. Now, Calvin Johnson versus Minnesota. I'm hoping that's a good matchup for him. I hope he keeps on showing up. Like 30 points each, like the last 2 weeks. LaFell has been pretty reliable for 10 points. Josh Gordon is a wild card, I believe, with Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that I don't know what happened last week. It was perfect stage for him against Vontae Davis wasn't playing, and he only had like 1 or 2 catches. I'm hoping he rebounds being in Cleveland, gets up amped with the crowd. Hoping Johnny knows who his best receiver is, treats him like Mike Evans at Texas A&M. Ryan Matthews versus Denver, I'm not expecting much. I just want him to play. 10 points would be great. He knows he's probably going to be a free agent after this year, so he's got to play for that contract. Le'Veon Bell, it's all about Bell, man. I'll admit it.
Yeah.
He is the machine that makes the Huber Squashers run. And, man, he looks good doing it. He looks so sweet. And I thought you were talking about the record with the he's done 3 straight 200 yards scrimmage yards.
Yeah.
And there's the other running back is named by Walter Payton.
That's right.
Sweetness.
Yep.
And hopefully he pulls out another one. All rushing. Hell, heck, I'll take a 65-yard receiving touchdown. I know I don't get credit I'll get the +3. But it also goes to Ben Roethlisberger. That's what I'm thinking.
Yep.
And now Jordan Reed, man, I hope he goes off against Juddy. And I really do.
It's Jordan Reed versus Alfred Morris.
It really is. And my Randall Cobb, he's my guy. He's the best. I love this guy. I only get him for one more year. Last year. And I know I'm not gonna get him next year. I'm gonna hope and pray, but no. Swish him. Whew. Cleveland D versus Cincinnati, man. I hope Joe Hayden works it and just gets a couple interceptions when I try to throw the ball to AJ Green. Andy Dalton's a mess. I hope that Andy Dalton wins it for me because he's just a bum. And he's going to be in Cleveland. It's going to be crazy, crazy atmosphere. Going to Juddy. Marshawn Lynch for San Fran. That's a tough defense. I hope he only gets like 40 yards. Sammy Watkins. I hope he sucks. I hope Julio Jones' hip hurts him. He can't even run the long ball. Alfred Morris. Oh, I got a lot of feelings about Alfred Morris. I don't even want to talk about him. That trade. Justin was like, I remember he got that trade. Justin was like, hey, how's Jordan Reed doing? Or he texted me, Jared Cook had a better day than Reed. This and that, all these things, always pissing me off. C.J. Anderson, great pickup. Hate you for that one too. Did you use your mini pad or your iPad app for that one? I mean, I know you got that app thing you've been using for years. Vinatieri is automatic. Tampa Bay versus Carolina. Not bad. Probably gone too long. I'm picking me to win by like 0.35. So Justin the whole year goes on a stuttering stammer about his loss to me, and he won't be able to. I don't know if he'll be able to handle it. He might crack. He might lose his mind. And good luck once again, and hopefully we can have a beer after we're done and laugh about it.
All right, before we're done this week, I just want to give a major shout out. I feel like a major part of both of our victories from the first round of the playoffs has a lot to do with my wife, Crystal. She made an incredible meal, and we'll get to that in a minute, but she really saved the day. What was it we made first?
The first week?
No, last week, before she saved the day. We had to throw it out.
I don't know. What was it, Brian?
Oh, man.
It was terrible.
I had this great idea to make this bean soup. I had all these beans that I wanted to put together and make this, savory, incredible soup. But it smelled nasty. It tasted nasty. So we threw it out, We just threw the bean out. Threw all the beans out.
Threw all the beans out.
And you took the pot outside, and what happened?
I threw it against a tree.
And it, just splattered all over that tree.
Although it tore that tree apart.
Yeah, and now, believe it or not, I walk by that tree every morning on my way to my car. It's got bean stank all over it. That tree has bean stank, that you can actually smell from about a quarter mile away. It's awful.
If those beans could talk, they'd probably say they were the best that ever.
And if that tree could talk, it'd be like, man, I don't even know what did it say.
I don't know what a tree would say either, man. If a tree speaks, and you're not there, does anybody hear it?
I don't know, but
It would say wah wah wah.
I'm not picking the beans up.
You're not picking the beans. You're gonna let them just sit there.
You're gonna let them sit there, rot, and just morph into that tree. Become part of that tree.
It's a bean tree.
Now it's a bean tree, and there's like a beanstalk. And I think they're happier together. They can just be there, and they can just stank the whole neighborhood up. A bunch of bean tree stank.
Bean tree stank. We're inventing words. All right, let's do it.
But anyways,
I'm hungry.
Crystal came in and saved the day, and she made us that incredible spaghetti squash pad thai. So we just wanted to congratulate you here live on the podcast.
Yes, she knows how to the secret to keeping both of her men happy.
Yes, I guess. However, next week, if we're both in the finals, don't be surprised if yours is spiked with something.
I am not eating. I will not eat. I will bring fast food. I know that you will try to poison me. Not her, you.
You got that right. But before we go, I was wondering if you wouldn't mind whipping up us a dessert before we go into the semifinal week. You think you could do that?
Oh, yeah, I actually had a pretty good plan, because it's wintertime, and I found at the grocery store they had candy cane ice cream, so I was going to whip up some Christmassy sundaes for us.
That sounds incredible.
does sound pretty
you have
good.
any toppings yet?
I don't know. You guys have any ideas?
I know exactly what I
know what I
want.
want, too.
I want hot fudge. I want maybe a cherry. I definitely want some.
Go good with peppermint. Yeah.
Yeah,
What
definitely.
else?
Maybe a little bit of crushed chocolate.
Getting fancy.
Yeah, you think you can pull this off?
It needs something else, though. What would you put on top of it?
Maybe some Jimmy's. Yeah. Can you
There you
sprinkle some Jimmy's on there? That would be incredible.
And as I like to call mine, some Juddies. Jimmy's and Juddies.
I've never heard of Juddy's before.
Oh, it's
Sure,
it's a Colorado thing.
Well, do we have any Jimmy and Juddy's?
We could probably find some laying around.
I mean, you got to crush them, and then you just sprinkle them over.
You got to crush them really good, really fine.
They're better crushed, otherwise they sort of just stick around in your teeth and make a lot of ugliness.
We don't want any Jimmy's or Juddy's sticking around.
No, we definitely do not. I do not want to see. I do not want to see Jimmy's or Juddies ever. I just want them to be done with,
Yeah.
and I want to leave with a smile.
So I think that sounds like a great dessert.
Yeah, I'm all about the peppermint sundae.
All right, let's
The
see.
candy cane sundae is
Yeah.
with the peppermint taste.
All right, thanks again. Hopefully we'll make it to the finals.
Good luck, sir.
Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
You ready?
Always ready, Brian.
Go, 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 go! Chicken parm, you taste so good.